Listener Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today in this review, we got the SH MonsterArts Legion. You might notice that we're breaking the illusion a little bit because this thing takes up almost my entire table.
It's massive. Look, this is my arm. And look at this.
It is easily the biggest, it's definitely the biggest MonsterArts box. For some odd reason, I wasn't thinking in my brain that it was going to be larger than the Iris box, but this is like 2 Iris boxes.
I get it. For the shipping purposes, it has to be. Because there's so much.
Yeah, it's easily, I'm pretty sure this is the MonsterArts with the most things that came with it. Because the other thing that kind of sucks is you have to assemble quite a bit of this thing.
Oh,
and it was...
God.
We won't be able to show the assembly here because I'm not tearing the things back off to show it. We did actually, I had to pull the unboxing video.
Why?
Because I didn't realize when we did the video that I had a tear in my pajamas.
People saw your...
No, I wear boxers underneath.
Steven.
But there was still a hole there. It was distracting. So it's not up. I'm planning on editing the video so I can put it back up. So by the time this comes out, it'll probably be up too.
It'll just be a smiley face on there, okay, the whole time.
I think I'm just going to zoom in. If I zoom in a little bit, you won't even notice. On the whole. I got to zoom in on the whole. But yeah, main reason I picked this up, my favorite kaiju of all time.
I like Legion, to be honest with you.
Legion, I think, is just like the coolest design. It's also my favorite giant monster movie. It's tough now. It used to be my favorite giant monster movie of all time, but I really love Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
I think Pacific Rim beats it a little for me now.
It holds a special place in my heart. Pacific Rim does.
To me, it's weird because it's almost more rewatchable.
Yeah.
But like I generally watch this movie like once a year at least.
I mean, if this Monster Legion itself, it just feels like somebody threw in a bunch of stuff together that just came out perfect.
They were just like, this would have been before. I was like, it's like Starship Troopers, Xenomorph,
yeah,
like all your favorite kind of aliens conglomerated into one giant bug monster.
And I think that's why I like Legions, because it kind of does remind me of aliens.
And then also the fun thing too is this being this is my favorite kaiju, and then my second favorite was Biolante, who is also designed by the same person.
Yep. Oh, you can tell he has like a certain taste,
they got a knack for the things that Steve likes in giant monsters, which is tentacles and a bunch of pokey arms. Henceforth, why we have all the anime girls out there.
Ooh, be careful, you almost ran Legion over on the floor.
I'll do it. That's why I want to also get this video done so that I can get her out of my office because I fear for her life.
It is very dangerous.
Though, that being said, something's fallen on her already, and when we did the unboxing, she popped apart, and so far nothing's broke. So that being said. But anyways, for its packaging, you can see the giant picture. Look how, that's my hand. Look how big it is. Then there's like the top. It says its name. Flip it over.
Wait.
Legion's on the side. Legion on the bottom. Legal Mumbo Jumbo. I'm not looking forward to that. And then on the back, it just shows you all the stuff it could do, how it scales with Gamera. I like that it shows it on the stand, but Gamera doesn't get jack dilly squat. I still haven't even tried to put it in flight form. Because the thing is the reason why this packaging is so big is there's like, you'll see here, but like that's where Legion was. And then it's like all the limbs and stuff you had to push in, all the wings and stands are in another thing. Like it's ridiculous. So anyways, let's get her opened up out of her cardboard prison. All right, so now that we got Legion opened up out of its cardboard prison, first and foremost, we're going to do this a little differently. Generally, we start with all the accessories. But her accessories is getting her into flight form. So, because I don't want to do this a bunch of times, we're going to go over her, just herself. Everything. And then we'll get her in the flight form and then give our final thoughts. So we'll go over the stand and everything.
So you're going to leave her in a flight form, right?
No, because I'm going to have to do a photo, right?
Oh, God.
For the review. So I got to take a photo of her in flight form, then tear her back apart. Because how I'm going to be displaying her is like this. I actually currently am trying to sell my old X Plus that was her placeholder because I didn't think we were going to ever get her. So I got something that was in the same size as the Monster Arts. And by the time this video comes out, there's no point maybe because I currently have it on eBay. But if it's still up there, you can check out my eBay. I'll try to put a link in the description if you guys like to pick that up. It helped get some money back in my account for this sake because this chick wasn't cheap. Because I got this through Entertainment Earth. I know that it was sold out. So you can't pick it up on there anymore.
I think she sold out everywhere.
Yeah, because eBay, she's like, you're probably looking about $1,000 to get it to your house right now.
Oh, yeah. I see
Which
that.
makes me happy because I didn't pay that much. Granted, still not happy how much I paid, but it is what it is. All right, so first and foremost, when you get her out of the packaging, there is some assembly required because these were not attached. Her little finger bits here. So you have to insert each of these. There is supposedly an order. When I did the unboxing, the way the limbs are kind of set up, it's a little out of order. But for the most part, it's kind of like small to big going down. That's how it should be set up. But it looked like to me it was the bottom one, the way it was set up in the packages, the 3 that were close to each other are the middles, and then the other 2 are the opposite limbs. And you'll kind of feel it when you're putting them in too, because they only fit in certain sections. So like this one's a little larger than this opening. So it's a bit confusing when you're looking at it, but that's just the best way I went about trying to do it.
It sounds like there's a lot of hassle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you'll also have to attach her leg, which is just a ball joint that pops into there. And then the one thing that is probably the most frustrating thing about her is this section here. There's a ball joint, spider webs. Again, she's been sitting in my basement for a minute. But there's a ball joint that hooks into the back here. You'll feel it kind of pop in there, but it doesn't stand there very well. So if you're going to be picking her up, always try to grab her by like 2 positions. Because otherwise, if you just hold her by herself and start moving that around, it doesn't take too much to pop off.
But it's not damaging anything when that happens, right?
Well, if you're holding it and it pops off 2 feet above the ground, yeah, you might have something problem. Currently, I haven't had her like high enough to really have that happen. But she is a heavy, heavy girl.
That's not very nice, Steve.
Hey, who doesn't like a heavy, heavy girl? Okay, probably a lot of people, but I don't. I don't mind. So, anyways, other than that assembly, for her detailing, it is probably I'm going to say, like, probably the best looking Monster Arts.
Oh my god, by far, yeah.
In terms of just, like, the amount of coloring and detailing, like, it's got some really awesome texturing on the armor plating there. If anything, I know for me, she's got the little fluff here on the back of the head. I think that probably should have been colored in.
How come?
Just from what I remember of the movie, because it's the same kind of hair that you see on like the legs here.
Oh.
The fluff here. But then again, they kept it white here, and I thought it was supposed to be more like brownish colored there, and the same on the back. But because they kept that white, maybe that is supposed to be like that. And then it's got the black skin texturing on it. Again, it's got the hair on the legs, which is correct. It's got the pincers with the nice airbrushing over top of it with the browns. And then the more black tip. The eyes also look really good. If I can move the lights a little bit farther back. Or it's got a bit of that bumpy bug pattern going on underneath it.
No, it's got really good detail.
With that pearl blue. Honestly, I just now noticed that because when I initially seen it, I thought it was just blue, but it actually has some texturing underneath the eyes. Which really helps it to stand out. And then it's got the black here going into the horn here.
I like how I'm trying to find a picture of Legion from the movie.
It's just like this.
And the third thing that pops up is our photo.
As it should be.
But I want it from the movie. I want to see if it's actually brown on the chest or...
Yeah, it's got a little bit of tan here on the little fans for the... what do we call this? The mouth mandible piece. And where it's like a little bit of fluff or whatever. It's got a little bit of that tan coloring. Legs look really good, nice and pointy. One area that I would maybe worry about the paint maybe coming off a little bit, especially if she takes too much of a nosedive, is the paint kind of scuffing off on these a little bit. And as you can see, she's already, just me holding it, the way it just popped it back off. Because again, this thing weighs a ton. You can even see like the leg here doesn't even really like to hold itself in very well.
Well, at least it's easier to show the details by taking it apart, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe I did have one little scuff on it from something falling. I see there's a little scratch right there. Nothing too major, but that wasn't on the figure originally. Then you've got a little bit of a metallic finish over top of this too. A little pearlescent to give it a bit of a shine in certain sections. The tiny little legs back here. And I guess I should probably kind of go over the articulation a bit, where the legs are on ball joints. So they go pretty much every which direction. And then these can bend up and down. Back legs here too, also on ball joints. These shift up and down. Same with the little nubby bit here too.
There's just so many bendable
This can
parts.
wiggle on the back here. So you can get her shifting side to side. Then attaching her back to the ball joint. Again, not the easiest. You kind of have to line it up. Here,
At least you didn't break it, Steve, so that's good news.
No, like I said, it's like that joint there is probably the loosest one on the figure. And you'll see me just bumping it. She was just like, nosedive. Oh, no. The struggle is real. Because then if that ball joint pops in, it makes it so much harder to get in. Yeah, because now, because that popped in, I got to kind of get something underneath it to lift it up a little bit. Because it's kind of a stiff joint there. You got to line up there's a socket in the ball joint. And you got to go in at like a weird angle to get it to pop in. Okay, we're going to set the button down. God.
Oh my god, this is going to be frustrating putting this together in a flight pose.
Thankfully, these legs come off. We don't use some of this. Oh, I'm a little annoyed there's that scuff there. I'm pretty sure that was from the gargoyle falling down. Must have nicked her in the back. She survived like 2 things trying to fall on her. Because I had the gargoyle fell off the shelf and land on her. And then the helmet randomly popped off. And I thought, like, I'm surprised it didn't murder her. Okay, so that claw is meant to go in here. Meant to go in here. Doesn't mean it's going to. There we go. Then for the front section here, these shift up and down on a ball joint, so you get a bit of a wiggle there. The little plate here shifts up and down.
Surprisingly, almost everything moves on her.
Yeah, this part can wiggle around. You don't get too much side to side at the, I'm going to call it the waist section. This piece I already know was going to probably be popping off because I never properly heated it up to try to pop it in. It doesn't want to go in all the way. Because where it attaches is right here. And because it's on a tiny little ball joint, I'm afraid to apply
Just leave the butt off.
But I gotta show it off. You know, to be fair, for a $600 figure, I wish that the ball joint here had a bit more of a stretch to it. I like how secure it is, but that probably should have been a bigger ball joint.
Yes.
And I don't know why it's not bigger. Like, there's so much more room in there to fit something in there. Or it would have, because it's also not really like a posable joint, it could have just been a peg. Like, you just pegged it in. Okay, I'm done for right now. For this part, it's on a ball joint, so that wiggles around. These shift in and out, so this can kind of move with the figure. You get that limb to pop off. The waist can rotate and get a bit of a wiggle side to side. The fingers here can go forward and back. You get a lot of play there. The top one here is a bit on the stiff side. The armor piece back here goes in and out, but that's for the flight form. So this pops out and you pop the wings in. The head, a bit hard to move because this section here is its own joint. So you kind of have to grab it at the base here and move it around. The mandibles are on tiny little ball joints, but they can move around a little bit for positioning. And then this can open up to reveal her laser beam attack.
There's just so much to her. Like, this is insane. Like, I can see why the price is what the price is on her.
Yeah, the only thing, I think as a whole, because she can split open to do the laser beam, might have been kind of cool to come with the laser beam.
Wait, it didn't?
No.
Oh.
Just has flight form. It's one of those, like, I understand why it didn't come with it.
It's got something. It's got the flight form.
I do love that if you don't have the butt on, she can still stand by herself.
Just throw the butt away.
But like I said, because it's a section that isn't really... I feel that pop out as soon as I go to move this thing. The body just being a peg... this not being an opposable section, this could have just been a peg that you just right into the thing and called it a day.
There's some questionable choices they made for her, but she's so big and so much effort had to go into her.
Yeah, like I said, it's just that's probably my least favorite thing. And then maybe for the legs, also having a bigger ball joint for them to connect into would probably help me with the fact of this thing wanting to pop apart all the time.
Are you ready to hate our life and put this thing together?
A little bit. But in terms of detailing, probably my favorite looking monster parts they've ever put out. In terms of articulation, it's about what I was expecting, where it's heavy and frustrating.
Yeah.
But it is super posable. So
very.
it does have that going for it.
I actually appreciate how posable she is because everything moves on her like it should.
Yeah, it's she's not just like a glorified statue. Like you can get her to position around. It just takes a bit of effort. Unlike 2019 Ghidorah. All right, we're just going to try to do this in one take. So if you hear some stuff going on in the background, like child yelling, also I just ripped part of the instruction page.
Oh God, don't do that.
It's fine. I'm going to do this once and never do this again. It's like Iris. Iris, I got into flight form, and that is where she stayed. Okay. Where did I find the... Casey's realizing I'm down here. Okay, so, real quick, before we get into all this shenanigan, she does come with a stand, if you want to put it down real quick for me. Pretty good display around the stand. It's supposed to be like this. Iku. It gives you a nice display option. We're going to be messing with the leg anyway, so I just don't feel like popping that off anymore. Okay, so now that we showed off the nub,
I'll start taking this apart and start putting it together. You can have that part.
So
these little pieces do come out.
We gotta tear her apart.
And then these are marked, or like by the bottom where they go in.
So this is like this. It doesn't talk about the limbs coming out, but I'm pretty sure these are all supposed to pop out. Which, on a high note, they do come out really easy.
The way she falls apart comes out easy? What?
It's going to be one of those. It comes with a flight form accessory. You're never going to use this. Just don't even try it. It is not worth the time and the frustration.
In our case, they need to make it idiot-proof.
They have little numbers on the bottom of these that correspond with that piece. I probably could just go fudge it. Not put them in. But then I'm doing a disservice to you guys. God isn't here right now. He wouldn't do this to us.
Good luck.
There is no God.
Putting this back together for that one photo, Steve.
No, I'm doing this for that one photo, and then I gotta put it back together.
That's what I mean. Good luck putting it all together for one photo.
Granted, it's gonna sit on this table until I get done with it. Okay, so we got all the parts in to get the nubs off.
I'm going to reach between your legs to grab the leg, Steve.
Now, this should bend all the way. It's pretty much fully articulated, and then that should rest. That is so
there we
much
go.
better.
God, it's so stupid. Something so minuscule like that can make such a big...
It's one of those, like, I appreciate the attention to detail, but it's more so one of those details where it's like, Jesus, why do you hate me so much? So it should look something like that. Next, all the little limbs in. So this is for the top.
This is left. I'm assuming that's right.
So this should be this one. No, that's the way that bends. There we go.
A stupid leg. Just glue it to the flight stand. Call it a day, Steve.
Okay. And then these nubs, which I probably should have done first. Okay, I think I have that right. It looks like that's the way that bends. All these are is just gap filler.
Which is stupid. But again, attention to detail.
No, let's say that's that one.
There we go.
I don't think that's right. It's not the way the armor plating shifts.
Supposed to look weird like that?
Oh yeah, because it's saying this side's right. I can see right there. Doesn't want to pop in, but good enough. Okay, so those are in. We're supposed to do all that before we got to this point, but we're here now.
We jumped a step or two. It's okay.
Okay, now we put the wing bits on here, and they go out in front of the figure. Why is this so much more complicated than Iris was?
I don't get it.
Also, my stand doesn't seem like it holds very well. Okay, now for this thing. We take off the legs. Legs are off, tummy pieces off. This is supposed to come off. Really? Oh, and it replaces with a different joint.
It's not going in, Steve. It's not going in. As soon as you can go in, it just moves out of the way.
Yeah, that joint is so much stiffer.
Can you leave these on?
No, because this is the legs.
Oh.
Okay, so what I was trying to show is you'll see it splits here. There's... I really don't want to mess with this too much. But these sections here, you have to like pull it out, and then it'll pop out, and then each of these kind of... There's a section here that slides, and a section somewhere under here that slides. And that lets you kind of pop them apart.
Instructions number 13.
207. Damn it!
No!
And now we are on...
The wings, number 13.
Which have their own... Okay, so the wings go in to these two little nubs here. we have here, which are made of translucent blue. Okay, I've spent enough time with this. I don't think this thing's worth putting in flight form.
No.
There's too much shit, and there's too much things to go wrong with it. Because it's already a really bulky figure as it is. You can see, like, the limbs popping off. This thing doesn't want to go in. I can maybe heat it to get it in. But I'm already frustrated enough trying to deal with...
Sometimes you just gotta walk away, Steve. You don't want to break it.
Yeah, with these little ball joints, trying to get this to...
It's not popping in.
I got it. I got it now.
So now the other side, it separates at the top, the back does, and the bottom. The top separated and shifted, the bottom won't. No matter what he does, it will not.
Now I got it back into the position.
And you need the bottom.
And this is only in there because I popped this stupid thing out.
Yeah. You need the bottom to separate so the spot can open far enough for you to put this part in there.
And it's like, if this was a ball joint, it might not be as secure, but it'd make my life a whole hell of a lot easier. Because the other problem I'm having, too, is where the spiky bits are right here. They hit the head. So I have to, like, force them just a little bit more to get it to move.
Walk away, Steve. Don't break it. So, I don't think you're gonna care about these stands holding it.
Yeah, so on a fun note, it's staying by itself. Wiggling it gets the job done. These are really loose to begin with, so they're not going to be the most useful things ever. Because it wants, like, these to hold these sort of upright. I'm not going to mess with it too much because when I go to take the photos, I'm probably not going to use them anyways. So they're probably not needed, to be fair.
It's not staying in this flight form.
Because she stays pretty well if you don't want to use them. And they're almost, like, too convoluted to really make sense of it. Because it's like, what are you really doing with the wings to keep them posable, you know? And I know these aren't quite in at the right angles, but I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. Like I said, it stays on there pretty well without those things. And they're ball jointed wings, but like this, like if you put it in this form, it's a statue.
It is a statue. You're
not doing anything with it. It is here just because there's no other flight form Legion to display like this. And it's probably for a good reason.
I'm sorry. That's just... Oh, wow. That's dumb.
I think it's cool, and it helps to like add to the price. Because it gives you more stuff. But it's almost like... I almost just would have preferred a beam, and it'd be a little cheaper.
Going into this, I thought this was going to be cool, but when you get
like if this plastic was just used to make the beam...
Fine.
Because the other thing is, and I guess we'll just... Well, we'll talk about conclusions. But so far, the accessories to me aren't worth the squeeze. But on the comparisons.
All right, so for some quick comparisons, also you might hear some purring in the background. My cat decided to hop on my lap as soon as I started filming this. But for some scale purposes, we have the SH MonsterArts Legion compared next to some of the more larger action figures in my collection, at least Kaiju action figures, with the Hayatoy's 2019 King Ghidorah and the SH MonsterArts Violente, which Legion trounces that thing. Ghidorah, actually... It's a bit closer in terms of size, but Legion definitely weighs a ton more. Also, just more posable, but you get the gist. And here he is next to my cat. Servo is part Mancoon and weighs, he's probably a little over 15 pounds now. He's a big kitty. I'm sorry, did somebody not want to be in the comparison? Oh, big boy. Do you forgive me? Take that as a no. And here she is with some other Legions in my collection, with the original X Plus Legion, the smaller scaled Daikaiju series, and the Bandai Vinyl. which is also the OG release because it's much bigger and not as white. And here it is showing it next to the SH MonsterArts Gamera, who is its companion figure, the 1996 figure. And for even more random comparisons, we have the Snail Shell Glisa from their RPG line and the McFarlane Toys Elite Series Fallout New Vegas NCR armor. The Ranger armor. It says it right here on the box. Actually, I was gonna say, does it actually say on the box? It does.
Okay, so some of you might not like this because this means we're probably not going to be doing many photos, and for good reason, at least for this thing.
Just a pain in the butt to put together. I'm sorry. It really is.
I'll probably do some for Instagram, but probably for the sake of this video, there's probably not going to be a ton. So overall for this figure, I still like it quite a bit.
No, it's really cool figure, cool design. I love everything about it, except they made it almost impossible to put together.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where I love the intent of giving us the base version and the flight version, which you don't ever see anything having the flight version for Legion. It's always just Legion standing on a shelf.
Yeah.
X-Boss, Bandai vinyls, you name it.
And now we know why nobody wanted to do this.
Yeah, it's like, this is one of those, like, if X-Boss just made a statue of flight form Legion, maybe not into scale. Because the problem is, too, is, like, this is a cool form, but you only really see it once, and it's not like it's fighting or anything.
Yeah.
So, while it being neat, it's not really something that I always say was, like, a necessity for this figure to be able to have or even do. And they could have maybe simplified the engineering on this a little bit and utilized this plastic for maybe things that were more seen in the movie. Especially since if you're doing toy photography with this, you're probably doing toy photography having this thing with the Gamera, right? Yeah. So if for accessories, instead of a flight form, I would have just preferred to have more things to go with Gamera. Like maybe coming with a damaged extra head.
A beam in the front instead of these
beam
wings.
Would have been the big thing. So instead of like having all this extra engineering pieces for all these limbs, just coming with the beam would have been cool. Maybe like the swarm of little legions.
Yeah.
Legion soldiers would have been kind of neat for this thing to come with. Because if I'm going to be displaying it, I'm just going to display it as the just Legion doing her thing. Not this on my shelf. The only reason I would display it like this is if I had a bunch of other Legion figures, and I'm just buying this because I want something unique.
Because now it goes from being an articulated figure to a statue.
Yeah, now you just have a statue on your shelf, which isn't really what you're buying these figures for. And it's also so convoluted, I can't see somebody wanting to do this all the time.
God, no. Fuck no.
It's like when I had like a lot more Transformers. I like Transformers, and I like doing the transformation. But again, it was something I wasn't like... It'd be like once in a while I get kind of bored of looking at something on the shelf, so I would
switch it around.
Switch it up.
This...
But I don't see me wanting to bust all this out. And then the problem is you could put it in this form, but then they want you to use all these extra stands and whatnot, which kind of distracts away from the overall thing. So it's like I said, you can get it set up like this. It'll stay on your shelf. It'll look fine. But I would just like to do it maybe a little bit more simplistic and just came with more things for battle photography than just a posable figure that comes with a way to make it a statue.
First form, love this figure. Would buy it. The flight form, no.
Now that being said, the amount of engineering in this and what it comes with, I think it was worth the purchase.
Yeah, it comes with a lot. It really does.
You hear my daughter yelling upstairs. She's ready for Daddy to come up. But like I said, I think they could have maybe saved us a little bit of money and just gave us different stuff to go along with it. I think it just would have made it more suitable. Like this, I almost feel like should be its own thing. Like a figure art Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't even know. Because the problem is if you made like a MonsterArts version of just the flight form, it's not going to sell. But if you made they made a statue to coincide with it.
Yeah, sadly this just needs to be a statue. Because even articulated figure like this, when you turn it into this, is just a statue.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I can move the head a little bit. Whoop-de-doo. Like, the wings are gonna be like that.
Because they gotta stand on the actual stands if you don't want them to sag or get damaged, so.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm happy with the purchase, but there's just some things about it just kind of baffle me a little bit. Especially, I don't know, it's just because I'm so annoyed trying to put this thing together that I'm just in this current mindset.
No, it's just you cannot justify it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I just was like I said, I think it's super cool. Glad I bought it, but it's like it's funny enough because it's like I'm kind of annoyed with it, but I'm still happy with how much I paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I really got gypped, but I feel like, like I said, there's just some things about it that could have just made it cheaper. And I would have been okay with that. But anyways, you can help us defeat those Kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a Ranger today. We're also going to Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. You guys like keep up the day with channel, donate, really would appreciate it. If the problem is like, I got mine through Entertainment Earth, link in the description below. Problem is they don't have them anymore.
They're sold out everywhere except eBay.
But if you want to pick up any other Monster Arts, I know the 2000's up on there. It's a good way to help support the channel, and you get free shipping. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, and hopefully eventually I might try to make a beam for this. If I do, it'll end up on the Etsy. But it probably won't be for a few more weeks. More than likely.
Steve needs time to decompress from this.
I still gotta get a photo of at least something in this. And then toss it all back in the box. Well, I'll probably pitch in the box, so this is probably going in the tackle box of other Monster Arts parts.
I don't know, there's so many little parts to this. I think you're gonna need its own specific thing, because like you have like all these parts and everything.
Yeah, I think I divide them up in the toolbox. Except for the wings. The wings will just hang out in the box. Anyways, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.